Hi, today we're going to use the lines we've been learning in art to create a piece with our name on it. So let's start with some construction paper crayons. Most of these don't have any paper left on them, so you can use the side of the crayon as well as the tip. I've got an example on the left hand side of the screen, and just like that I'm going to start by using the side of my crayon to create a border around it, like a picture frame. So I'll get a crayon with no paper on it and press down nice and hard to create that frame around the edge. And after we do the frame, I want to come back with a contrasting color and use one of the lines that we've been talking about to create the border or the edge of that frame. So I'm going to use yellow to come back around our green with a wavy line. You might want to do a zigzag line or a jagged line, but I'm going to use a wavy line with mine. And then we're going to try to write our name in all capital letters, so it goes from the top of the frame to the bottom of the frame. And we'll try to go from side to side so it touches all the way across and uses all of the space that we have. Now if you have a really long name, like Montlu is a very long name, then you might want to write it in a zigzag formation or a diagonal formation. I have a pretty short name, it only has 5 letters, so I'm going to write mine in the diagonal formation just so you can see what I mean, moving from left to right across my art space. So I'm going to use the side of my crayon again and push down really hard and do all capital letters. And I'm doing my last name, but I encourage you to do your first name. And you could create any kind of font you want. We've been looking at some different kinds of font in Sketchbook Express. So I'd like you to be creative and create your own style of font. My inspiration for mine is airbrushing, kind of like you see a t-shirt when you get a t-shirt at the beach maybe or at the fair and they airbrush your name on it. And so the artist might do one color and then come back with another color to highlight it. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to come back with my orange crayon and outline just the left side of my letters with my orange crayon so that those yellow letters really pop out. And after I do each one, I can come back very lightly with the orange, a really light value of orange, and just add some shading to that because it's really hard to see that yellow until I add the orange color in to create some contrast. There, that's looking good. I like the way that's coming along. I'll continue with each of my letters with that strong orange color and then some lighter shading beside it. Now notice that each of my letters has some space between it and the next letter. So I'm thinking about some other lines that I can use to fill that space and unify my design. So in my example over there I used some wavy lines and I used some zigzag lines and some dotted lines going around my border. It's up to you. You can use any of the ones from the anchor chart we're using to help us learn that vocabulary. And I did do a wavy line all the way around my border. I could continue using that orange to play off my letters and add a little bit of orange to that wavy line too. Not too much. I still want it to be primarily yellow. But again, I'm trying to create some unity in my design. And make that yellow pop out. So now I have space in between all of my letters where I can come back and fill in. Let's try some jagged lines. And so I'm thinking about one continuous line moving behind those letters. But I have to lift up my crayon as I go. I don't want to mark on top of that letter. But again, that makes my letters really pop out by creating that background of jagged lines. And then let's do some wavy lines in between. Again, you can use whichever lines you like for your design. And some dotted lines on my border going around. And the last thing I'm going to do is use my yellow crayon on its side to pull it all together by gently shading across. So I'm filling my background with an even paler yellow and picking up a little bit of that blue and a little bit of that purple and pulling it along also. I'm sure yours will probably be very unique and different from mine. I can't wait to see how it turns out.